Welcome to this tutorial. Here you will learn about the typical output we get from a single subject's analysis done with Freesurfer's function called recon-all. This tutorial is adapted from the one in the official Freesurfer webpage. There are lots of materials for learning how to work with Freesurfer there, so I highly recommend you follow those tutorials for more information. Here, I select only some of the steps to get you a little familiar with Freesurfer. Let's start immediately. Open a new terminal window. We need to tell the terminal where in the system Freesurfer is saved. We will save that location as a variable called Freesurfer_home. To begin, we have to configure Freesurfer. For that we use the command source. This will run a standard script, called a shell file, so a file with the extension .sh. Every time you open a new terminal, you should type these two lines. Let's save the location of the Freesurfer tutorial data as tutorial_data. And also save the location of the directory where the subject's data are, subjects_dir, using the export function. Next, we set the current directory to define that we are working inside the subjects folder. This will allow us to access the participant's data within this folder. We can open a participant file using Freeview, the viewer of Freesurfer. Freeview is opened by calling it as a function and adding all the files to be opened after this function. You will notice that at the end of each line there is a backwards dash. This tells the terminal that we are not done typing this command, so it knows that there are more arguments for the function coming next. Some notes on the above command line. Good_output is the name of the subject. The code specifies the directory where the file is, and at the end, the actual file to be opened. The flag V is used to open some of the most commonly used volumes. The flag F is used to load surfaces. The opacity of volumes and the colors outlining each surface are specified after each file's name. Type the command and click Enter. A Freeview window should open showing you all the files you specified. On the left, you can see a list of all the volumes which were loaded. We can adjust this window to see everything. The scans are displayed here in the axial view, coronal view, sagittal view, and the 3D view. You can choose how many views you want to see. If you see only one view, then click here to select which one. We can make more space here to see the volumes better. To zoom, scroll with the middle mouse button. You only see one slice at a time. You can navigate to the other slices by using the page up and page down key in your keyboard, or the arrow up and arrow down keyboard keys. While the menu on the left lists several volumes, you normally see only the one that is listed on top, as most volumes are not changed in opacity. The volume on top of all the other ones now is ASEG, known as the ASAG volume. However, you can see what is below this volume, because it was made translucent. You can hide or turn off a layer by unchecking the checkbox next to the layer name. Try this out, uncheck the box next to ASAG. Now you can see just the brain mask. You can also use the up and down arrows, located below the menu on the left, to move the ASAG down on the list, below the brain mask. And you can move the WM volume to the top of the list with a shortcut, double-click on where it says WM. It should automatically move to the top. It is also useful to know that when you click somewhere in a volume with the left-hand button of the mouse, the cursor, the little plus sign, will stay there. You can then see the name of the structure where the cursor is by looking at the cursor panel on the bottom left. However, when you move around the mouse, the bottom right panel is the one which will give you the name and coordinates of the regions that the mouse is hovering over. Now, I will let you explore the scans. There are two main things to look at when thinking if Freesurfer did a good job in automatically identifying brain structures. First, double-click on the T1 volume to bring it to the top. Let's look at the red line. That is the PL surface. You can check and uncheck it under Surfaces. It should mark the border between the surface of the cortex and the pia mater. Let's also look at the blue line. This is the white surface, as it marks the border between gray matter and white matter. Pause this video and then go to Freeview. There, try scrolling through the scan and check if these surfaces are correctly positioned in the borders that they should mark. Okay, now let's look at the aseg. To make it appear, double-click on the aseg volume on the left top panel. Now scroll through the scans. Here you should look at whether the colored maps, which should be identifying subcortical structures, do follow closely the pattern of differences in intensity of the T1 scan which we see under the aseg. Okay, now that you are a little familiar with Freesurfer outputs, you are ready for the next activities.